Hello and welcome to Teliax, and today we're going to start our in-depth feature look at IVY. We're going to break it down into different sections, make it real easy to digest so that any one piece isn't too long. But we're going to go into all the different features one by one, or at least in logical groups. Today we're going to look at sites, phone numbers, and e911 because those are all pretty well related. If we look at the whole feature list, we have phone numbers, extensions, devices, voicemail, fax to email, ring groups, schedules, voice menus, conference rooms, e911, and call forwarding. Today, these are the features that we have. And so again, we're going to take these in more logical chunks as we go along. But today, we're going to focus on sites, phone numbers, and e911. So once you're logged in to the IVY dashboard, the first thing you need to do is create a site, and you go to Add Site. This is the demo site that I have, so I'll be using this throughout these videos. So you want to make it active so that it actually works. You can give it a default caller ID name, a default caller ID number, and you need a DNS extension. Now you may be under ivy.teliax.com, you may be using your own domain name here if you're a partner. So you need to know what that DNS is, and then we're going to add a kind of a prefix to that. So I'm going to have demo.ivy.teliax.com. This is going to be where the phones or the PBX register to. So it's important to know this information. We'll need this if we're configuring phones. The thin client, we're just going to leave that on Denver. Sometimes there's other options in here that you may be asked to use by tech support, but for the most part, we're just going to use thin client. We can upload our music on hold if we want something different. Not that that isn't some really good music there. We need an access control list. So by default, no one is allowed to connect to the system. So we're going to go ahead and give it one. I'll give it my public IP address with a /32, which means one IP. If you need help understanding that, you can go to the help, and there's examples in here about how to specify ranges or the entire internet, which you may only need to do for someone who's on a soft phone and they travel. Otherwise, you want to lock it down to the IP address where the calls are going to be coming from. The channel limit is how many concurrent calls this site is allowed to get at one time. Now that's going to be dependent on the size of your company. You may only need 4, you may need 8, you may need 10 or more. If you need more than 10, make sure you talk to a salesperson so they can get you set up properly. So I'm just going to leave it at 4 for right now. And then where are we allowed to call out? Now by default, there's nothing here. So I've added United States so I can make domestic calls, or I can go and make calls to specific countries. This helps cut down on malicious use. First off, they have to be coming from your IP, and second, you're only allowing calls to very specific destinations. So once we have this set up, I can go ahead and click enter. And we should add a phone number. So I'll order a phone number. And this will be our main number. And we can search by area codes, cities, states. Let's try just Colorado. See if that brings some stuff up here. So I have Denver areas, Colorado Springs. I can pick different areas where I want the call to come from. So I'll just pick a phone number and I'll select enter. So I don't have any destination for this phone to go to yet, but that's okay. We're going to cover that in other areas. But I do want this phone number to be the default for the entire system. So I can actually go in here and edit our site. I can put in the default caller ID number, and now that will propagate throughout the site as we do different things. So next I want to set up e911. So if someone in the office calls 911, what's going to happen? So we go to e911, and we can set up the location, the caller ID name, the address, a house number suffix if there is one, a unit number, the street, the city, state, postal code, and country code. This is very important that you do this for every site that you create to make sure that 911 calls get to the right operator and that they can get emergency services to you. If you do not set up e911 for a site, then the operator will not know where to send emergency services to. So make sure that you set up e911 for each site. So once you have that all set up, then we're ready to go and configure other services, other features within IVY. So look for the other videos here and see how to set up the different features within IVY. So again, today we just covered setting up the basic site, adding a phone number, and setting up e911. For more information, go to Teliax.com. If you go to the news section, that's our blog. You can follow us on Twitter or on Facebook, or you can email us and we'll help you out with our support. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos on helping you to grow your business. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.